From a police officer placing a small amount of marijuana in a suspect's car, to an officer planting a small bag of heroin right beside a black man. Here are 4 instances when corrupt cops planted drugs on innocent suspects and got caught red-handed. Number 1. Baltimore police caught planting drugs in body cam footage. On July 24, 2017, Officer Richard Pinheiro from the Baltimore Police Department claimed that he and his partners had been watching a man that they believed was selling heroin, and they were storing it in a yard in the alley. Ironically, in an attempt to gather concrete evidence for an arrest, they decided to, quote, search a little area full of trash where the suspect might have stored the heroin. However, the reality of the situation turned out to be much different. Officer Pinheiro had planted a bag full of drugs, thinking that he wouldn't be recorded. However, he wasn't aware that police cameras have a special feature that saves the 30 seconds of video right before activation, but without audio. Let's see how he then tries to frame the man for it.
Let me go check here. Hold on.
It's funny how he pretends that he doesn't know anything, yet the search only lasted a few seconds because...
Was that 30?
Yo.
He sounds very astonished when he discovers a bag full of drugs and calls his colleagues over to witness it. Apparently, he thinks people aren't very smart and that they wouldn't notice him only going to search one specific area while leaving the majority of the space behind.
Hold up. Not yet.
The suspect was held in jail for months after the police claimed that the found drugs were his. It was only when the public defender's office sent the body cam footage to the state attorney that the innocent man was instantly released, raising questions about Officer Pinheiro's involvement in other active drug cases, 53 of them to be exact. Officer Pinheiro was later charged with tampering with or fabricating physical evidence and misconduct in office, committing a wrongful and improper act in the performance of his official duties. While Officer Pinheiro faced the consequences he deserved, what about an officer who was caught and arrested, leading to the release of all 120 cases he was tied to? In mid-2019, Officer Zach Wester from the Jackson Police Department initiated a traffic stop on a woman, claiming that her truck's rear lights were flashing inconsistently while braking. The situation escalated further when Officer Zach threatened the driver, stating that she either let him search her vehicle or a canine dog would come and sniff around it.
Next minute they don't work, and then a few seconds later they just flash, okay? So
it's probably because of the rain.
Okay, that's fine. You got your driver's license on you, ma'am?
I just got tickets the other day. I'll be glad to show them
did
to
you?
you.
No, you're fine.
Although Officer Zach started the conversation frankly, there was a reason behind it: to gain her trust and later search her vehicle for no apparent reason.
I'm just trying to think what's going to be best for what is what is that right there?
What is what?
That right there.
What is what? This?
That straw right there.
This is no straw. It's an ink pen.
Oh, okay.
It's
okay.
an ink pen.
It was connected. It looked like it was
No
connected
straw.
to that arc. Just
Hey,
hang
I just
tight,
got
okay?
pulled over, but...
Yeah, I'm not going to keep you from talking on the phone, okay? Anything in the vehicle I need to be concerned about? Bombs, hand grenades,
Drugs,
rocket launchers?
nothing.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
Okay. All right. Here's what I do probably 10 or 15 times a shift, okay? There's going to be a K9 coming in a minute, and she's going to walk around the car, okay? But instead of doing that, would you consent to a search of your vehicle? You're fine with that? Okay. All right. You mind stepping out and just hanging out with this deputy right back here?
No, I don't. I'm scared of being in this traffic, to be
No,
honest.
Deputy Hayke will take care of you.
The driver wasn't aware of what Officer Wester was going to do when he went inside her vehicle, as that's what he had already done more than 120 different times. Did you notice something in his left hand? Why did he close his fist? It was most probably because he had something, which he likely placed on the car carpet and planned to use later. He had already planted a pocket full of illegal drugs while searching her things. When he found a spoon, he took it out from her bag and then placed it on the spoon, framing it as hers.
Do what now?
I said, if you find any money, I come up missing $5 at the hospital.
All right, I'll see if I can find it for you.
Even after that, he didn't confront her. Instead, he continued searching the vehicle, which was beyond anyone's expectations.
Come on.
I'm working on it. But you might.
After thoroughly searching the vehicle, he carefully placed the drugs he had planted on the passenger side to confront her.
Oh, Miss Odom.
It is yogurt, sir.
I know. Okay.
It's yogurt.
How about
It's-
this, though?
That is not mine. No, sir.
Okay. I'm not going to ask you any
No,
direct, hold on.
sir.
I'm not going to ask you any direct questions. I'm going to read you your rights first, okay? So just hang out with Deputy Heike here.
What is it?
I have an idea. We're going to test it, though, okay?
The woman kept saying it wasn't hers, and if it was, then there was no point in letting the officer search the vehicle in the first place.
My cup. Please don't lose my cup.
You want me to put it in the car for you, Miss Odom?
It doesn't lock.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's going to be secured in Branning's yard. I mean, that's no problem. All right. Come right back here, all right? And I'll make sure you don't get ran over.
Although the woman was initially arrested, she was later found innocent and released. Following this incident, Officer Zach Wester was arrested and charged with felony charges, including racketeering, official misconduct, fabricating evidence, possession of a controlled substance, and false imprisonment. He was sentenced to 12.5 years in prison, a sentence he is serving in Colorado. Additionally, he agreed to a settlement of nearly $1 million. As a result, all 120 people involved in cases tied to this officer were freed. It's astonishing how Officer Zach tried to gain her trust first and then use it against her. But what the next officers did to an innocent suspect recovering from abdominal surgery is beyond anyone's imagination. Number 3. Officers Kyle Erickson and Elmer Pastran. In March of 2020, officers Kyle Erickson and Elmer Pastran pulled over a vehicle for minor traffic infractions. Subsequently, they claimed to have detected the scent of marijuana in the car. The suspect, Jason Serrano, was also subjected to harassment by the officers, despite their knowledge that he was recovering from abdominal surgery after being stabbed. Here's what unfolded.
Like marijuana, so we're gonna check it. All right. Okay, and then what? Fix it. There's nothing in the car. You'll be good to go. All right.
I want to see that right now. Okay.
I can get out. I can barely move, bro.
Jason even showed the officers the wound from his surgery, yet they persisted in harassing him, both verbally and physically.
Do me a favor. Give me the jacket.
There's nothing in my jacket. I'm not getting
My
searched
man.
for no reason.
My man.
Come on. Relax. Relax. Relax.
They grabbed him, pushed him to the ground, and handcuffed him only because he refused to let the officer search his jacket. Jason was left alone on the ground, visibly in pain, until an ambulance arrived with medics to attend to him. But they weren't done. This was just the tip of the iceberg of what they were going to do with Jason. When they didn't find anything in Jason's jacket, they began searching his vehicle without his consent. And here's why.
Yeah, we gotta find something.
The officers can be heard asking each other, or possibly giving hints about whether they should search the whole thing, including his car and jacket.
See nothing.
Sorry.
You know what I mean?
After several minutes of searching the car and finding nothing, they returned to their ultimate motive: to plant marijuana and frame Jason.
It's a little bit of weed. It's a little bit of weed.
It's surprising how calmly he attempted to plant the marijuana in the cup holder, thinking that he was not being recorded.
Flakes everywhere, though.
Yeah, no, he had weed. You could see his weed here.
Jason spent the next 5 days handcuffed in a hospital room, waiting for his abdominal wound to recover. Later, he took a plea deal to avoid jail time and only learned of the body cam footage after pleading guilty. The footage was released 2 years later, revealing that this wasn't the first time these officers engaged in such conduct. A week later, a similar incident occurred with other citizens, where Officer Eric's body cam was turned off, and suddenly, a marijuana cigarette was found. However, it is astonishing that no action has been taken against either officer in spite of all the evidence there is. Instead of facing prosecution, Officer Pastrand remained on the force, and Officer Erickson was allowed to retire. You may find it ridiculous that these officers were not charged and were allowed to continue performing their duties. However, the next officer's case is equally, if not more frustrating, as a similar situation unfolded with him as well. In 2020, footage went viral when police officers from Jefferson Parish Police Department were accused of planting drugs on the side of a black man after handcuffing him. It's unclear whether the police had their body cameras on, but bystanders made sure to take out their cell phones and record every bit of it.
Ain't no crack in that bag. There ain't no crack. Man, come on, man. You serious? Man, ain't no crack in that bag, man. Don't beat the fuck out of me for nothing. Man, what a crack at?
Right there, he placed a bag of an illegal substance right beside the man to frame him for the case. This act may be attributed to racial profiling or other motives.
I'm recording. No, she recorded.
As bystanders screamed that they were recording, the officer had to take some action to prevent the video from going viral. However, it proved to be inevitable.
She recorded. She recorded. She recorded. Get out the way. Run, girl. Go inside. Go inside. Go inside.
The officer instantly stood up and compelled the bystanders to leave the scene. The handcuffed man repeatedly asserted that the bag was not his. Following the incident, JP Sheriff Joe Lapinto mentioned that the viral footage lacked the important context that the deputy was handling a bag that had initially been taken from the suspect's pockets before people started filming the incident. But the question arises, if the bag was found in the suspect's pocket, what was the point of forcing bystanders to turn off their cameras? Every citizen has the right to record pretty much anything they want in a public place. So what do you think? Were they attempting to plant drugs? Or was it a video lacking context? There's no information available whether these officers were charged or not, but this leaves us thinking. All of these cases happened to be recorded. But what about scenarios that there wasn't a camera turned on, or one that was turned off? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And subscribe to Deadly Details for more true crime content.